What's up, guys, and welcome to another video of DevTalks with your host Travian, where we talk about everything engineering technology wise. In this video, we're actually going to be talking about this new data center that I believe Amazon wanted to build in Arizona. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and let's dive right in.
Very clear to the community that we're done with Project Blue.
This week, Tucson council members voted to stop Project Blue, a 290-acre data center tied to Amazon that was planned for land near the Pima County Fairgrounds. The project involved multiple data centers built in phases, powered by electricity and cooling systems that critics warned would drain scarce water resources.
You do not come to our desert and disrespect it.
However, the project's developer, Beal Infrastructure, promised Project Blue would be net water positive, using minimal potable water, relying on reclaimed water, and contributing funding for water conservation efforts in Tucson. According to a report, the data center would have used roughly 6% of the city's unused reclaimed water supply. But despite the company's sustainability claims, the public and council questioned it.
The way that data centers are being built is not sustainable whatsoever.
The halt to the project comes as Phoenix data center boom strains the region's power grid, sparking worries about high electric bills and infrastructure limits. Concerns similar to those raised over Tucson's Project Blue.
There was no guarantee that some partial outbuild for the power supply to the data center wasn't going to be passed on to our ratepayers.
There's already more than 100 data centers in Arizona, part of a growing number nationwide as federal initiatives aim to expand technology infrastructure.
All right, so why is this such a big issue, right? There's a few different reasons why. One, water. Two, electricity. Why? AI. The big reason for this in all these data centers is mainly because of AI. And with AI growing in the country needing it and needing more of it, what do we need? More supplies, more power, more water, especially for cooling. For me personally, I don't live out there. I don't want to talk about how these people want and how they live and how it's impacting them and stuff. But when it comes to the water aspect, if the city's not already using the water, maybe they need it in case of emergencies and stuff. Maybe it comes into some threshold. Like if a fire ever started, they are in a desert and there is limited water out there. I've actually been curious to why most of these data centers are getting built into Arizona personally, but who really knows? I'm not an expert on why that's a choice to why people actually choose to build their data centers and build a lot of their stuff in Arizona. Who knows? And they said there's already, 30 in Arizona, all across Arizona. I would like to see the statistics of the data centers impact on those other cities and counties and things in that aspect and compare it to how the data that they gave them that was going to get built in Tucson to really see if they were dragging it or if it made sense. Especially for the water aspect. You want to know if this stuff makes sense, if it's going to be good. These companies can be lying. Maybe these companies, they don't trust these companies. They don't believe in them. So that's why they tossed them across. And I believe Arizona is a swing state, so it can be a lot of political stuff into this as well too. Who knows? But Project Blue was definitely one of the needed ones that Amazon needed, especially with all of this investment that's been going into it. For the power, this has become the major issue when it comes to power in general and the power grids, right? We in no other country has the amount of power and electricity yet to fuel the world that we are moving into, especially the world of AI and robotics. There's not enough, with the population that's about to be added in robotics enough. Mind you, robotics will be added to the population in some type of census, especially when it comes to if people are trying to calculate and see how much material and stuff is being used, like how many resources are being used per average person versus them as well too, because these robotics are going to raise the electric grid power systems alone. When it comes to charging them, fully automated factories, almost fully automated factories, I should say, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But even these data centers and every other one of these centers and things to that example need to have power as well. So if they're going off the other people's grids, is it really impacting their electric bills like that? And this is why I believe when Trump went on Joe Rogan, right? They were talking about, hey, we can't use windmills because they're bad for the environment, especially when they rot the blades. People can't dispose of them, especially for the air. And this is why we need to find a way. And I've covered some videos on this on a lot of these big tech companies buying nuclear facilities or trying to or these miniature nuclear facilities getting built. And the reason why they're getting built is so that we can have more renewable energy and enough of it, because they need the energy to power all of this stuff. It is insane how much power that is needed. It is an insane amount of power, if you guys did not know, that is actually needed to run all of these artificial intelligence places, all of these data centers and things all across the board. There's not enough power for it. There is not. So I'm wondering how their data center was going to pay bills around all of it. I'm also curious more into detail on how they came to the conclusion that building something up could impact their overall environment, especially since it was being done in phases and going through that. Maybe they thought when the building was happening in the water would get contaminated in some way with the actual build. These people have been dealing with these data centers way longer than I have, because they're not building data centers like that in the state that I'm in. At least to my knowledge, they're really not doing it to that extreme, and if they are, they're doing a great job hiding it. Because I've been seeing a lot of companies investing into Arizona and their economy. What is the negative of this? There's a negative for the company, but there's also a negative for the township of Tucson. The company, of course, they're not going to be able to get the supplies and the resources that they need to better store and build upon their whole data infrastructure for the company. Okay. Amazon will be okay. They'll probably find another location. The other location will probably be in Arizona too, whether people like it or not. And this actually isn't getting as much coverage as I think people should be paying attention to it, because conversations like this are actually extremely, extremely important, right? They're really important, especially in my eyes. I believe they're extremely important to really sit here and talk about how this new wave in our technology growth is actually impacting the normal people and everyday people. So that's the one big thing, right? How it's impacting the people in the area. Less jobs. They have to be okay with not increasing their economical growth in their county or city, wherever they are in Arizona, and not have people move there for new jobs and everything else like that. Because I'm pretty sure people work in these data centers. Let me look up something real quick. Average employees in one Amazon data center. So one AWS data center is about 7,400 full-time equivalent jobs in a sense. So you have to sit here and think, hey, we could either have, if this data center comes in, we can have 7,400 people move to Tucson, or a large amount of people move to Tucson to work here, bring more money into our area, maybe increase the development and things in that area. Maybe there's more stuff to do now because people are looking to invest in the area and build it up, and these people make a good amount of money who are working in these facilities. And this is kind of the risk that they're taking on with caring more about their environmental stuff that they might actually need to live. Instead, maybe more people moving in will then take away that 6% threshold, and it really doesn't add up. These are all things that you have to look at in both lenses that many people probably don't. And especially people, if you don't live out there, they don't ask these people the questions. They don't go out and look at the questions that are going out, or the answers that are actually happening out in these areas to get to the bottom of it. I wish I was bigger so that this could see more people, and that people in the area can feed more information, because they've been dealing with this for months, because Project Blue got passed along and then now they finally vetoed it. then said, nope, you can't build it here. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm actually really interested in what you guys may have to say about this, and especially if you're from the area. Please enlighten us more in the comments down below. I'll try to pin your comments and everything from that aspect. But also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I really appreciate everybody who does. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it all. You guys have no idea how much I do appreciate you guys. If you want to send me any recommendations, send me an email at devtalkspod@gmail.com. Everything in the description down below. Without further ado, peace. See y'all next time.